Right?
You could say so. Obviously, plenty Panthers and Hurricanes action to talk about, but let's not forget about Charlotte FC. They have a plan to get back in the win column this weekend. And another week in NASCAR means more big penalties to hand out. But Carla, I think you know who we're starting with.
Absolutely, like we always do. The Panthers, after a quiet few weeks in Philly last season.
Well, he had a career year in Philly last year. I mean, compared to his previous 3 years. The question that I have is, can he stay healthy? I mean, this is a guy that prior to that last year had 2 years where he played a combined 24 games, 2 leg issues, ankle 1 year, knee the other year. So my question is, can he hold up? If he can hold up, I think it's going to be straight upwards and onwards for him. If he can't, goes back to injuries, then that's a problem.
That he was going to maybe step up on catching the ball maybe in the backfield a little bit too. So that's
what they all
good.
say.
Yeah.
Regardless of which quarterback the Panthers end up taking first in next week's NFL draft, it sounds like that person is going to have an ally from day one. Though he may be initially competing for the starting job, Andy Dalton told reporters today he is looking forward to working with the team's top pick, the veteran quarterback. Signed with Carolina during the offseason. He remembered just how tough it was adjusting to the pro game as a rookie. However, he feels if he can do it, they can too.
You know, when I came in, it was the lockout year too.
Oh, absolutely, because I'm sure you get the wrong veteran guy in there, and they're saying, no, that's my starting job. He comes in, you initially get those 2 off on a bad foot, and then you're just looking at a disaster of a situation where one guy's got to go. You don't want that. You want a guy that's going to come in and say, hey, I'm here to help. Sounds like Andy Dalton is that guy. All right, on to hockey. After beating the Islanders 2-1 in Game 1 of their first-round series, the Hurricanes must have figured, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so for Game 2 of the best-of-7, Carolina went with the exact same lineup and goaltender. Max Rowley, Antti Raanta, back in net, getting the start once again over Frederik Andersen. Early on, his offense was providing him plenty of support, and actually, so were the Islanders. Second period, that's an own goal off the stick of Sebastian Aho. It's 2-0 Carolina. New York, though, would come back in a big way, 2 straight goals, and then in the third, a third. That's Brock Nelson with a good look, and suddenly, with about 11 minutes left, Carolina was down a goal. However, there was still some twists and turns in this one. Later in the period, Jacob Slavin from the goal line, able to bank that home. Carolina ties it up at 3. We then went to overtime, but we were not there long. 5 minutes in, here comes Carolina again. Jordan Staal threading the needle. Jesper Fast doing the rest. Home crowd going home happy as the Canes take it 4-3 in OT.
Great effort. I feel as soon as they got a lead, I felt like we start playing a little more the way we need to play. So good response from us, and I mean, what a great experience.
There certainly was. Hurricanes now up 2-0 in the best-of-7 first-round series as the series now shifts to New York for Game 3 coming up Friday. Bit of bad news for the game. We just learned the Canes have lost Teuvo Teravainen. Broke his hand. He will have surgery tomorrow and is out of the series. Carla?
Yeah, that's really rough news.
As bad as it has been for Charlotte FC on the defensive end this season, things could get potentially worse this weekend. That's because the Crown, owners of the second worst defense in the East, is set to host Columbus, who comes into this game with the best offense in the conference. The Crew has scored 18 times this season, which could spell doom for the Charlotte defense, who have given up 16 goals this year. However, it appears the Crown has a plan. They believe the way to win is to come out aggressive and not let the Crew dictate the tempo.
We've been watching them, and we've been doing the hard work on the pitch on how we can stop them and how we can penetrate them and attacking wise. So yeah.
Coming into this game at 1-4-3, Charlotte desperately needs a win. In fact, their last victory came just over a month ago in Orlando. Kickoff at the Bank is set for 7:30. What's crazy about that game is they played great against Colorado over the weekend. I mean, they dominated time of possession. They had more shots on goal. But as you keep hearing the players talk, one mistake.
Yeah.
One mistake. And that's the thing with soccer and hockey, sports like that. You can't make those one mistakes. They kill you.
Yeah, I think you're just kind of waiting for this team to really figure out who they are. And you see that. I think you see that they're working toward that, but they just haven't been able to execute it when they're actually on the pitch. It's going to be interesting to see how they kind of rally from this. I know a lot of fans out there are disappointed, but we keep saying this. Last year, not a lot of expectation in their first year. they went through kind of a lull period, especially to start. It wasn't really till the summer that they got things going, and so that's something that I'm entrusting my feelings and emotions to.
Well, recall that they also went through a lull midway late in the season,
Right.
and it was that late rally that almost got them to the verge of making the playoffs. So again, we've seen this team bounce back. That's got to be optimistic thoughts right there.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to some racing because the NASCAR